I have a secret for you. This is something I've been pondering for a long time, and it's true. You don't want to manifest anything. Manifesting is the biggest block to having everything that you want. And if there's one thing, one outcome that you really want, it's you want to return to your soul's truth, because your soul's truth is limitless. Your soul's truth is abundant. Your soul's truth doesn't give any fucks about what other people are doing. Your soul's truth feels free and joyful and at peace and empowered by everything life throws at it. Your true self is magical and has a magic that is here to be spread, here to be found, here to be uncovered, here to be unlocked. And so therefore, you are not here to manifest anything. You are here to become more of your true self. It's funny, I had a client the other day and I was telling him about the energy for the week. And I'm like, yeah, it's about stepping into this new version of you. And he says that throughout this process, he doesn't feel like he's stepping into a new version of him. He feels like he's becoming the true version of him. And I thought that was a very wise thing for him to say, because that is what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. People think that they're going to be happy when they manifest something that they want. Like, you think you want the mansion, you think you want the job, you think you want the business. But the thing is that all these things you think you want are coming from you having become something that is not truly you. We only want these things because we've been programmed in all these different ways to not be ourselves. That's why everyone's miserable and wants all these things outside of ourselves. We see someone do something, we want that. We see someone happy, we want to live like them. But the problem is that will never get you there. And that's why people will get everything they want and not be happy, because it's not about what you manifest. True happiness, all of those feelings you're chasing, are in the process of becoming more of who you really are. And that is what I'm in the business of doing. That is what I sell here. That's what I'm here to do. And I get it, because for so long, I thought I wanted all of these different things, and everything that I've ever wanted, like the feeling I feel in my life right now, if I had all these other things I tried to force before, like I tried to force like 13 different businesses. It's been hours making a million different business plans all throughout my 20s. Felt anxious. I felt yucky. Nothing got off the ground. But it was through letting go and following the unknown and becoming more of me and following my astrology that now I have this life that feels like pure bliss and freedom. I do whatever the fuck I want every single day. I'm becoming more of who I am, and I'm giving less and less fucks around other people every single day. Me and Ryan have the strongest, most intimate soulmate level connection, and we're 8 years into our relationship, and it is because of this process of becoming. Once I stopped manifesting and started to become more myself is when it all clicked in. And I only manifested my soulmate because I followed my soul's truth. You want soulmate level love? Follow your soul's truth. You want soul wealth? Follow your soul's truth. You want soul joy? Follow your soul's truth. And I'm bringing all of this up today because we have a very important aspect this week. We have Neptune and Aries, which Neptune rules the North Node right now, which is our karmic collective destiny. Whatever Neptune is doing is a big fucking deal. Neptune is in Aries. Neptune, the planet of your soul, of spirit, your soul's spirit. Neptune can delude you away from your soul through trauma and perceiving things based on lack, perceiving things based on projection, perceiving things based on not being connected to your soul. We only get fooled by Neptune when we have been dislodged from our soul. And don't worry, that's happened to everyone. You're not alone, including myself. That's the process of becoming, is we're getting away from all the disillusioned, wounded part of Neptune, the part of Neptune that like causes smoke and mirrors and tricks you and keeps you away from your soul's path. When we're becoming, we're healing a lot of that stuff. We're returning to true self. We're returning to our limitless nature, because the positive side of Neptune is that soul, that boundless soul. Neptune's guidance is not logical, it is felt. It's the feeling you get when someone asks you, do you want mint chocolate chip or vanilla? And everything in your body lights up at the mint chocolate chip. And when you hear the vanilla, you just feel kind of whatever. You're like, this is how you feel in response to it. But the mint chocolate chip, you're like, that is the feeling I'm talking about, the spirit of Neptune I'm talking about. I like mint chocolate chip ice cream, so that goes for me. You don't like mint chocolate chip ice cream? And that analogy did not land for you? Insert your favorite ice cream or whatever turns you on. I'm a Taurus, so of course I'm talking about food. And so with Neptune, the more we follow how things feel, the things that feel expansive versus the things that feel contracting, the more we align with soul's truth. The thing is most of us have been taught to live and lean into fear, to control things, to control our life, as if fear and acting from fear and acting from scarcity and acting from all of these yucky emotions are going to manifest the thing that you want. In fact, taking action from fear and all of these lower emotions, those emotions are not soul emotions. Your soul in its natural state, the sun in astrology, soul, but also the moon, I also look at the moon as the soul, is naturally joyous, naturally abundant, naturally at peace. And so anytime you don't feel that feeling, you're moving away from your soul, and it's because you've been trained to move away from it. So anytime you're working towards something and it feels like a grind and it feels like anxiety and it feels not good, all those feelings are Neptune resistance, Neptune blocks. Versus when you learn to work with energy and only lean into the things that expand you and lean into the thoughts that expand you, make the choices that expand you, create as much space as you need in order to make those choices that expand you. That's what Neptune needs. Neptune needs space to gain clarity, because it is a fog of limitless possibilities. And so this week, Neptune and Aries were dreaming up this new sense of self. But the thing is people are getting more bold with their feelings. And that boldness can move two ways. It could be moved for you to take bold action, to lean into what truly expands you and feels right for you. Or it could result in you desiring to control your external reality and project things onto people. And I've seen both things with now that Neptune has entered Aries. And we're getting a big message about that this week, because Neptune's going to meet up with Mercury, which is how we think and communicate. So there could be communications you have with people, interactions you have with people, like downloads, intuitive downloads that you get that either are very clarifying for you and who you truly are, or confuse you and make you feel projected on, or maybe you're the one projecting onto people. It's really hard to talk about Neptune because it's such a confusing planet. I hope I'm doing it justice. I want to talk about the two things I've seen since Neptune moved into Aries. So I'll tell you the negative and then the positive. The negative thing that I have seen is the thing is Neptune has no boundaries, right? And so it's really easy to project things onto people or to even communicate things that other people told you that was not yours to communicate, or to like almost play telephone in a way, like pass along a secret to someone else and it's not exactly it. Now you spread a rumor that could happen this week because Mercury rules Gemini. Rumors could be spread this week, projections, but also magic. So on the negative side, it could be that you viewed a certain interaction with someone a certain way and you didn't see that interaction clearly. Maybe you saw the interaction from a wound. So maybe you interacted with someone and they said, yeah, they were being all weird about hanging out next week. And so the way you took it as is this person doesn't like me, because maybe your wound is people don't like me. There's something wrong with me. That's been a big wound of mine. So I'm talking from personal experience, but, let's say that you already have that wound, and so when someone's being weird about setting up plans with you, you just, like, make this decision that you're weird and they don't wanna spend time with you, and then you go and tell your friend, "I don't think they wanna spend time with me, they've never liked me, they're kind of an asshole to me, so I'm just gonna make other plans this week." And then your friend talks to that friend and says, "Oh, like, I heard that you didn't wanna hang out with blah, 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 that you're being weird," and then that friend is like, "What? I never said that. I just told her I had all these different things to do. Like, where did she get that?" And then you have this whole weird conversation where your friend addresses you and says, "I never said I didn't want to hang out with you. I was just telling you all the things that I had and I wanted to make it work." And you realize in that moment, oh my God, I was just projecting my story onto them. How many times have I projected this wound that people don't like me? So when they say that to me, it's like the first thing my mind comes up with and the first decision I make. How has that held me back in life? Has it held me back from being the real me? From being my real soul's truth? And so that could be an awareness you have this week. The clarity, the fog that dissolves is recognizing where you're projecting a wound onto someone and how that projection has been blocked you from many opportunities. And so you're deciding to stop it, to lean into the idea that your people love you, and it doesn't, and almost take it less personally when people respond to you a certain way. Don't make it mean the wound anymore. You just make it mean nothing. You just surrender. That's the highest expression of Neptune. A positive way it could work out, this is how it's been looking like for me this week. Mm. I feel more clear on who I am and what I'm here to do at this moment in time in my life than I ever have. I'm very clear on what I provide for people. I'm very clear on my value, and I'm very clear on what I don't want to do anymore. Mm. And so when I first started my business, I didn't have that same clarity. And I was told by a bunch of people, you just have to get visibility. You got to hustle. You got to go to the events, the networking events, the panels, the workshops. You got to be seen. And so, in a sense, I've recently realized that that mentality is a scarcity mentality, especially because there's so many things I said yes to when I first started my business that actually that stopped me from connecting to my soul's truth because I thought I had to do it. Like I had to go to the networking event. If someone asked me to be a part of this event with 65 people there, I had to go because of visibility. What if I missed an opportunity? And so when I had a friend come up to me this week and ask me, last time we talked, I was doing human design a few years ago. I used to do human design readings before I full out only decided to do astrology. And he asked if I wanted to come do a human design or astrology or whatever I'm into these days. He just knows I'm very valuable. And in that moment, and there was me 65 people there, I'd get good visibility. And in that moment, and I just didn't feel right in my body. My logical mind was thinking, well, visibility, people have told you visibility, like it makes logical sense to go, but everything in my body didn't want to go. I'm clear on who I am. I'm clear on the value I provide, and I'm not just going to go to an event and be a person at a booth that people walk by. I'm not like I don't mean to seem egotistical, but I truly think that the wisdom I have to share with astrology is not normal astrology wisdom, and it's not for the mainstream. It's not for the normal people. And so I'm I've been really honing into the fact of how sacred it is, the wisdom that I've embodied through astrology and what I have to share, that I don't want to just go to an event with 65 people where anyone can talk to me and walk by me, because most people are not going to resonate with me, and it just didn't feel right. I really don't have a logical reason to tell you. Again, Neptune in Aries wants you to follow the feeling of your soul, the expansive feeling, and it's not going to come through logic. I even see myself trying to put logic on it for you right now. I don't even know if that logic is true. All I know is it felt like a fucking no. Even though my brain was trying to come up with illogical reasons for why I should. And so I said no. And to most people, like an old version of me, I would look at saying no as, oh my God, this is scary. You're you being delusional. You're saying no to potential visibility. But the new version of me is like, no, you said no to that, but you said yes to who you're becoming. And I said in the beginning of this episode, I have learned that becoming is the way to everything you want. It is the way to live your life the most fun, the most magical, the most abundant. You know, I've had people say to me, Rachel, things don't always have to be so deep. I wouldn't want to be like doing all this explore. I don't know. They look at peeps. A lot of my friends look at a lot of the evolving I do as me always healing. And I don't look at it as that way. I look at it as me exploring the mysteries of life. And I'm constantly finding new mysteries, constantly unlocking new mysteries. And I mean, it's why I know I'm so good at what I do now, because I live evolution, and I'm not afraid of it, and I don't think it's scary. I think it's joyous and fun and mystery filled, and it's like orgasmic for me. I need to stop talking about it because it really gets it. I get turned on by it in a weird way. So it's funny, as much as I said no, it turned me on to say no. I was like, yeah, I'm honoring more of my soul. Like, fuck yeah, I know who I am. I feel solid. I feel connected to myself. I feel potent. Because when we say yes to things out of scarcity or because we think we should, but they don't feel expansive, they just feel logical, like we should, it disperses your energy. It disperses your soul. It makes you less potent feeling. It makes you less orgasmic feeling. It makes you feel spread thin. That's what it feels like. And so that is what I want you to pay attention to this week in relation to yourself, in conversations you have with people, and opportunities that open up as you move throughout your day. Are you moving from contraction because you think you can't be yourself, and you think you have to be all these other things that don't feel right to you? Or can you be bold, brave, and courageous? That's Aries enough to say no to the things that don't feel expansive and yes to the space that it creates when you say no to the things that feel contracting. Or another way to look at it, because maybe you're kind of confused and having a projecting conversation like that first example I gave, it could sting to find out you were wrong, but can you expand into what it means that you were wrong, that your friend didn't want to hang out with you, that really you are lovable for your people? That's what this week is about. It's about expanding into true self and saying no to all of these things you learned that disperse true self, that cloud true self, that move you away from true self. I hope I did Neptune in Aries conjunct Mercury in Aries justice for this week. I hope you expand into your true self. I am sending so much love. If you love the way I talk about this stuff and you want to live astrology every day like I do and understand how to expand into true self on your own, self-paced, on your own time, like you find astrology evolution, all of these things fascinating. Get my Higher Self Healing Codes course. It is a self-paced program you can use the rest of your life. And everything in there, I guide you into the practices I do every day to figure out my astrology and put it into ChatGPT and give me new awarenesses for the lessons I have to learn that day. I'm teaching you how to have your own astrologer. You don't have to learn astrology. You don't have to be the astrologer. I teach you how to use ChatGPT and and astrology in a way that evolves you on a daily basis and allows you to work with the daily energy. I used to have my membership, Cosmic Co-Creatrix. I'm not running it anymore because it didn't feel aligned with my soul. But I had so many people in there have giant quantum leaps in their life just following the astrology every single week, because that's where I would share it and guide them, and I'd give them ChatGPT prompts. Higher Self Healing Codes teaches you how to do that on your own, so it's a program you can use the rest of your life. It's a program that will help you see the magic in every single thing that you do, just like I talked about in this episode. So if you want that self-paced, you can sign up. That will be down in the show notes below. If you would like a reading with me, I'm doubling my birth chart reading prices after this week because those prices were an old version of me, way too old version of me. I'm worth these new prices that I'm doubling. So if you want to lock in the old price of $222 for a 75-minute reading, book that right now. It's going to change this Sunday to double the amount. And then if you want to apply for one-on-one coaching, the prerequisite is you have to have had a birth chart reading with me first. The one-on-one coaching is you having me teach you how to live life like this, one-on-one, in a really deep way. So I hope you have a magical, mystical week, that you become more of your true self. I love the shit out of you, and I'll see you next episode.